Our research group work at the forefront of software project management. We aim to create a set of leading edge evidence-based practices for software companies to manage development in contemporary times. We try to create practices that are leading edge in all general ways. However, we do focus around two key themes. The first one is evolving software. So companies today have to develop software in a constantly changing, very dynamic, highly pressurized environment. So we aim to look at agile practices, lean practices, look at complexity theory and so on, to allow companies to develop software in those kind of difficult environments.
So we look at the decision-making processes in teams through the software development process for agile software development. Now, in agile software development in particular, the teams work in small cycles of time called sprints, and typically they're 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. And at the end of each sprint, they deliver some software. And so they construct the final product in pieces. And essentially, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made throughout those chunks of time. And what we help them with is things like prioritization. What should they build into feature sets? What should they give the customers early? What can wait till later? Estimation, how long will it take us? What sort of effort do we need to put in? How much quality assurance will we need? How much test time will we have? And all of these variables are elements that software teams tend to struggle with. And by and large, that's where we fit in. So it's very nice for our industry partners to say, well, because of our intervention with them, this metrics has moved from X to Y, and Y being better than X. And an example of that would be we worked with one of our partners on task estimation. So they'd look at the new piece of work that needs to happen. How many people do I need? How many days of development time do I need? When does it all need to happen? How do I build it into my cycle of activities and the wealth of activities happening across my company? And we helped them develop an estimation tool for that. And it was about using their information better, so they had the right information to make the right decisions.
Project portfolio management is more than the management of multiple projects. It's the centralised selection, prioritisation and allocation of projects that are aligned to strategic organisational objectives. Resources are then allocated to work on those projects, and in an ideal world, that portfolio of projects are regularly reviewed and updated. To date, EVOSS has worked with a number of organisations such as Ericsson, Intel and Lumention to identify the challenges that they face in relation to the management of their software project portfolios. We have also recommended solutions for those challenges, and these include improved prioritisation and selection of projects, improved resource allocation and the implementation of a release management function.
The second theme in terms of software development is around creating open software. Traditionally, companies used to rely on their own internal people and internal skills to develop their products and to develop their software. In contemporary times, we see an awful lot more companies, due to increased pressure on costs and so on, and availability of expertise through multimedia and social media technology, are relying on crowdsourcing to develop their solutions.
Within EVOSS, the Irish Research Council have provided significant funding for evaluating the impact of scientific research within Ireland. Our research is investigating how crowdsourcing and crowdfunding can be used by the research agencies going forward, and we're involved in the design and the development of new crowdsourcing models that can be used by the agencies in future.
So Gartner have predicted that by 2017, almost half of all consumer goods manufacturers will crowdsource 75% of their consumer innovation and R&D capabilities. So a lot of new ideas and new innovations will be consumer-led and consumer-driven. We're conducting an overarching assessment of crowdsourcing that will allow tailoring and optimization of a crowdsourcing process, one that can be used not only by companies but by funding agencies and government bodies. So any entity that wants to implement a crowdsourcing initiative or a crowdsourcing process can take a look at the outcomes of our research and apply it and adapt it in a way that best suits them.
The Irish Research Council and Science Foundation Ireland have confirmed that in 2015 they will be deploying a crowdsourcing process, a pilot study developed here at EVOSS, and that process will encompass all parts of science funding, so it will involve the formulation of the problem, the development of the call, and also the evaluation and the implementation of the solution.
So some of the things that we've looked at is what sources of external information or a combination of sources of external information provide the best return in terms of innovation in software development firms. So the idea is quite simple. Firms today who want to be innovative, that they shouldn't try and develop and design everything from scratch themselves. Companies should be looking outside to the outside world to borrow ideas and technologies from other firms and utilise those for their own benefit. We're also developing a maturity framework where software firms can actually assess their innovation capabilities.
So our aim, building on these two themes, is to create a network of excellence with a large range of partners within NUI Galway at the hub. These partners include large multinationals such as Microsoft, Google, Intel and Fidelity Investments, a large range of SMEs both in the Galway region and nationally, and even some internationally, as well as many public sector institutions from the education and medical sectors. In terms of our dissemination of research activity, apart from regular publications in top quality journals, dissemination at conferences and so on, we regularly host knowledge sharing events with industry. So typically we have 50 to 60 industry partners attending any one event. So we have grown our group based on funding from multiple sources, including Science Foundation Ireland, Enterprise Ireland, the Irish Research Council and the European Union. To date we've been awarded over €4 million, and this has been supplemented with a lot of cash contributions from our industry partners and an awful lot of in-kind contribution where they contribute their resources, their people, their time and their expertise to our research project.